What's up everybody, welcome to another camera comparison video. Well, check carefully which smartphone is doing better. I mean noise cancellation, skin tone reproduction, color grading, exposure. Well, as we are talking about exposure, check this. Oppo, Oneplus, Realme, almost all the smartphones from these brands have this exposure issue on front camera, selfie camera, and they are not gonna fix this. Anyway, check carefully which smartphone is doing better. I mean selfie camera of these two smartphones, which one is doing better? I have done a lot of hard work. Really, it's hard work to do camera comparison videos within 1 or 2 days. I have to go out, take pictures, and then transfer all the pictures to my iMac Pro and then do this comparison thing, check all the pictures one by one, and then put the video together, voiceover. It's a hard work. And you know that OnePlus didn't release OnePlus Nord 2 in China. I live in China, so I had to do a lot of hard work. I had to spend a lot of money. I had to pull a lot of strings to get this OnePlus Nord 2. Anyway, it's here. We are doing camera comparison videos. So if you end up liking this camera comparison video, if you feel that my camera comparison videos are helpful, then please click on the like button, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel.
Memories fade away, wither out, but I can't ignore.
When I have started taking photos side by side, straight away I knew that it's going to be a very difficult task. Okay, considering the price and segment of these two smartphones, both have done well. Yes, Realme GT Master Explorer Edition is a bit more expensive, like $50 extra on top of Nord 2. And we will see whether this extra price is justified by its performance or not. All these photos were taken in auto mode, AI was enabled, and HDR was also set to auto. I have started with indoor artificial light photos cause most of the mid-range smartphones struggles in this condition. OnePlus Nord 2 and Realme GT Master Explorer Edition is very similar in camera spec. I was really excited to see the outcome. Yes, there are similarities, but after checking hundreds of photos side by side, I have noticed a few differences. Some of the differences are preferential and some are actually defining quality. When it comes to white balance, none of these two smartphones sticks to one color temperature. Sometimes Nord 2 photos got warm tone and sometimes Realme photos got that warm tone. It jumps back and forth, but both of these two have managed to keep the differences within a very limited ratio. So if you do not check side by side, you wouldn't even notice the differences. Saturation levels are actually different. There is a noticeable difference, and most of the time OnePlus Nord 2 has saturated the photos while Realme GT Master Explorer Edition has maintained balanced saturation. In terms of details and texture processing, Realme has done better with a better SoC. It comes with a Snapdragon 870 and it has that correct sharpness. While Nord 2 sometimes goes too sharp with overprocessing and sometimes it's just too soft. Shadows and dynamic range is more than similar. Sometimes it's identical, but sometimes OnePlus Nord 2 takes the wrong turn in background processing and that results in lower shadows with a bit more grains. Color rendition or color grading is the thing which made me totally surprised. OnePlus Nord 2 has continued to beautify photos with artificially processed colors. Midtones are sometimes very high. Brightness and contrast ratio is also not that correct. But in terms of exposure, both did well. Actually, Realme photos are surprisingly better with true-to-life color tone and better balance of brightness and contrast. Considering all the aspects, Realme GT Master Explorer Edition is the winner of this segment. But if you don't care about random low details, continuous overprocessing and saturation, if you need photos that look like eye candy, then you may like OnePlus Nord 2 photos. Things are almost similar in ultra-wide mode, but you need to understand that Realme GT Master Explorer Edition has a better 16 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, and this performs really better beside OnePlus Nord 2's 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor. GT Master Explorer also seems to have slightly wider FOV. Yeah, in ultra-wide mode, OnePlus Nord 2 photos are reproduced with bizarre white balance and performance is more like a ride on a roller coaster. Sometimes it has good white balance and color grading, but most of the time it's poor, worse than its competitor. Realme has managed to integrate a better sensor and it seems like it has better algorithm. Realme got more details, processing is also seems to be a bit better. We must also check daytime photos. As we are talking about the ultra-wide, let's check some daytime ultra-wide photos. Performance is almost the same as those indoor photos that we have checked earlier. Differences are also quite similar. But in daytime photos, Realme has better dynamic range, exposure, and OnePlus tries to make the sky blue even in an overcast day. That's not funny. That hurts.
Memories fade away. With or out, but I can't ignore.
As mentioned earlier, it wasn't no good weather outside. There wasn't no dynamic range for a mid-range smartphone. But both did similarly well. Yes, not much to differentiate the quality of the photos under bright daylight. It's mostly goes down to the personal preferences. I didn't find anything to complain about other than a few things. Continuous overprocessing. Whenever there is a hint of green in the frame, OnePlus Nord 2 increases highlights and saturation. Realme has occasionally failed to get correct exposure, and whenever ambient light goes down, both has lost details here and there. But that didn't happen regularly. As both of these two smartphones doesn't have any telephoto lens, it's not important to check the zoom photos, but if you want to know, then yes, Realme has magic underneath its sleeve. Most of the time, it has beaten its more popular brother in digital zoom photos with lot more details and efficiently processed textures. Both have similar aperture and shutter speed, but Realme somehow managed to get better exposure. It doesn't matter whether it's a 2x or a 5x zoom. Realme GT Master Explorer Edition wins with a decent margin. I have been crying to have OIS on mid-range smartphones. Other than OnePlus, actually no other brand has provided OIS on mid-range. Now these two mid-range smartphones have OIS, and look at this, both have great stabilization in 1080p. Okay, other than stabilization, dynamic range, details and exposure is slightly better on Realme. Yes, Realme has continued to dominate its bigger, more prominent and more popular brother. As these two smartphones don't have 50mm lens, portrait photos are taken with the main sensor. Nord 2 and Realme GT Master Explorer have the same issue, getting the subject into focus. You cannot stand too close or too far from the subject. Occasionally, both of these two smartphones misses the subject and fails to simulate blur effect on the background. Edge detection, edge cutouts and separation line blend. Everything is similar, but most of the time, surprisingly, Realme has done better than OnePlus Nord 2. I believe OnePlus will fix this edge detection and focus issues with an update, and yeah, Realme deserves to get praised for better performance. I was surprised when I have first started taking photos of human subject with OnePlus Nord 2. This is truly an outcome of ColorOS algorithm. You don't have to believe me, you don't have to take my words for it. But Oppo, OnePlus and Realme are actually slowly injecting all the good OxygenOS algorithm to top tier Oppo smartphones. Like OnePlus 6 Pro Plus has almost all the advantages of OxygenOS stock camera, and then on the same time they're injecting ColorOS algorithm to mid-tier OnePlus smartphones. But I'm really amazed to see Realme GT Master Explorer Edition has done better than OnePlus Nord 2 while taking human subject photos. Look at these photos. Way too much saturation, crazy amount of fairness added to skin tone, insane ambience and vibrance. I don't know. Maybe there are some people who like this for their Instagram, but Realme GT Master Explorer Edition has done better with wider dynamic range and better exposure. Yeah, OnePlus and Realme both got enough details on the subject, sharpness is on par, but Realme kept true to life skin tone and color grading is also better. Okay, I will leave these selfie photos and selfie portraits for you. You can check these by yourself. There is an international smartphone giveaway going on for the subscribers of this channel. If you are a subscriber to this channel, then what you have to do is to make a detailed comment describing which smartphone actually did better in selfie photo and selfie portrait. I wish you check carefully and make a comment describing which smartphone did better and why.
Memories fade away, wither out, but I can't ignore the ache. Lying deep underground, you must have lost your way. Look around, all we can do now is pray. Make it count. I've lived through water, I've lived, seen pain you can't.
In my last camera comparison video, I was surprised I have mentioned a few times. OnePlus has done magic with its Nightscape 2.0 on Nord 2. Nightscape photos of OnePlus Nord 2 is simply flagship class. Okay, when I was doing the camera comparison video, I got shocked. If OnePlus has done magic, then Realme has done miracle. Like daytime photos, low light photos of these two smartphones also have similarities. After checking a lot of pictures side by side, I have noticed they look very similar. But there are a few things making them different. Truly, there is no trend or no rule of thumb for white balance. Sometimes it's warm on OnePlus Nord 2 and sometimes on Realme GT Master Explorer Edition. I hate this long name. Anyway, saturation is always high on Nord 2. Based on personal preferences, some people may actually like or prefer saturated photos. But when you dig deeper and compare low-light photos taken in harsh lighting condition, noise and grains are actually heavier on Nord 2 compared to GT Master Explorer. Also, images grabbed by Nord 2 looks a bit soft. There is less details while Realme GT Master Explorer has more details. Well-processed textures, less noise and grains, everything seems to be a bit more polished on Realme. Anyway, Realme should release this one globally. A lot of people are praising OnePlus Nord 2 for better performance at a cheaper price. Realme GT Master Explorer actually offers better value for money. It's time for verdict. I am here to share the truth, and the truth is Realme GT Master Explorer Edition has performed better than OnePlus Nord 2. If you have any other camera comparison video request, then please make a comment and let me know. If you have liked this video, then please click on the like button and please subscribe to this channel.